Some of your favorite Red Sox prospects are now one step closer to the major leagues. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. With the draft officially ending, it means that the Red Sox and every team in Major League Baseball are about to get an injection of prospects into their farm system. What this also means usually is that teams do promotions for guys who are long overdue for promotions in order to make room for these players. And for the Red Sox, it was some of their top prospects. So what we are going to do in today's videos, we're going to break down all the recent promotions. We're going to talk about who got promoted, why they got promoted, and we're going to talk about what this means for each of these players and what this means for the Boston Red Sox. But before we get into that, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so there are two guys I want to talk about before we get into our in-depth analysis of players who got promoted. I do want to mention Alan Castro, who's currently the 24th highest ranked prospect in the Red Sox farm system according to Sox Prospects. Him and Felix Cepeda, who is a right-handed pitcher who is currently unranked for the Red Sox, but is someone scouts have said that you should be paying attention to, have both been promoted to High A baseball. Now again, I'm not going to go super into detail about these promotions, mostly because it doesn't really affect their timeline. 1 and 2, we don't really have time in this video to deep dive into those guys. So if you guys would like to check those guys out, again, they were two prospects who were promoted as well within the last week. But the three players I want to deep dive into today starts with Luis Perales. Luis is currently the 7th highest ranked prospect in the Red Sox farm system. He's also a guy that a lot of people consider the most promising arm in the Red Sox farm system, even over Shane Drohan, who's currently ranked right now above Luis Perales. A lot of people believe Perales has the highest ceiling in terms of pitching prospects currently in this Red Sox system. Now, Perales started the year in low A baseball, where he made 13 starts. He had a 3.21 ERA, which is good on its own, but he also had a lower FIP at a 3.12 and a 1.24 whip. He also had an opponent average sitting at just 197, which is really impressive. He also had a really impressive 11.98 strikeouts per 9 and a bit of a higher but still pretty manageable 4.73 walks per 9. Again, he's young, he has a little bit of a command issue. It has been going down a little bit slowly over time, but that command is still a bit of an issue as he had in low A baseball. Honestly though, the only reason his ERA is so high isn't because of the walks, it's because of his first two starts of the 2023 season. They were a little bit rocky, he didn't get deep in them, it inflated his ERA, but since those two starts, his last 11 starts, he has not allowed more than 3 earned runs in any single start this year. Again, aside from those two, which is a really great sign, right? He was essentially just dominating low A baseball. And again, this is a guy with a ton of potential. All of his pitches have potential to be plus pitches at the major leagues. His fastball right now sits in the high 90s and tops out around 99 miles an hour. This is a fastball that has a ton of late movement in the zone, especially up in the zone, and Sox prospects believe that this is a pitch that could be a swing and miss caliber type fastball at the major league level. It's by far and away his most deadly pitch. He also has a really nasty curveball that he uses to get swings and misses on. It is one that he has a really great feel for and can command it really well. He can throw it east to west, north to south, and it usually ends up in the spot it's supposed to be in. And he has a changeup on top of that that's a little bit inconsistent. It's not his best pitch. He can still get swings and misses off of it, but it can also get hit really hard. It's definitely something that the Red Sox and Perales are going to want to work on as he moves through the minor leagues. But because of all of this, because of what he has done so far this year, on July 9th, Perales was promoted by the Boston Red Sox from low A baseball to high A baseball. Now, in terms of his timeline, this doesn't really improve his timeline all that much. Obviously, doesn't hurt it either. Right now, he's projected to come up to the major leagues sometime in later half of 2026. That may get bumped up a little bit. Now he may be mid 2026 because of this promotion, but it's not like his promotion is going to make him come up in 2025 as opposed to 2026. So it doesn't do a ton to his timeline, but this is great news for one of the Red Sox most promising young young pitchers. Again, if you guys believe that there are no starting pitching prospects in the Red Sox farm system, get familiar with Luis Perales, because he's a guy who could be someone really special on this Red Sox team. Another big name that stands out in the latest wave of promotions is Blaze Jordan. Blaze Jordan is currently the 15th highest ranked prospect in the Red Sox system. We actually already made a video this year talking about the third baseman season so far and why it's been so good, but ever since that video, he's continued to improve on his 2023 campaign. So far this year in high A baseball, Blaze Jordan has a 324 average with a 385 on base percentage and a 533 slug, which equates to a 145 WRC plus, or about 45% more productive at the plate than the average hitter in high A baseball. Blaze has 12 home runs, 55 RBIs. He's also still keeping his strikeout rate down. It's at 14.6% this year, which is the lowest of his career, and his walk rate is still higher than normal at 8.7. Both of these combined have led to his highest walks to strikeout ratio of his career, now sitting at 0.60. What this basically means is for every 1.5 strikeouts Blaze Jordan has, he also walks 1 time, which is great news for a guy who a lot of people were concerned with being one of those 3 true outcome type players. Blaze Jordan also so far this year has really improved his defensive ability. Again, something that was a big question mark going forward with how Blaze Jordan was gonna grow and develop at the minor league level. Again, because of what he was able to do in the first half of 2023, it led the Red Sox to believe that he was ready for the next level, and Blaze Jordan has officially been promoted to Double-A, where he's going to be joining his friends Marcelo Meyer and Nick York, possibly making the Portland Sea Dogs one of the most talented minor league teams in all of baseball. But aside from that, what Blaze Jordan has been able to do so far this year has been really impressive. I mean, the kid's only 20 years old and he's already in Double-A baseball because he grasped so much more than I think a lot of people were expecting him to do, right? Again, a lot of people were sort of concerned with, can he hit off-speed pitches at a higher level? Can he get on base aside from hitting a home run or walking at a higher level? And what is his defense going to look like? Well, so far, Blaze Jordan has improved at every single aspect of his game very quickly this year and over the last couple of years as well, which is a great sign for the Boston Red Sox. Now, his timeline right now is sitting at late 2025, which feels like the right bet, right? If you were going to bet on when Blaze Jordan was going to make his debut, the safe bet would be the later half of 2025. But because of this promotion, because of his age, there is a chance that if everything goes well for Blaze Jordan, he ends up coming up a little bit earlier in 2025, maybe around the halfway point, maybe a little bit earlier in the season, depending on injuries and stuff like that. This promotion actually does have the possibility of pushing his timeline up a little bit. It all sort of just depends on what Blaze Jordan can do sort of right out of the gate in Double-A Portland. The next player I want to talk about in the biggest wave of promotion so far this year is Wikelman Gonzalez. Now, I understand I butchered that first name, and I'm not going to try and continue to say his first name, so we're going to call him Gonzalez for the rest of this recap. But Gonzalez is the number 9 prospect in the Red Sox farm system right now. He is yet again another pitching prospect, a right-handed pitching prospect that people should really start paying attention to a little bit. Again, we talk about it all the time with this sort of lack of pitching depth in the Red Sox farm system, but there are some really intriguing names, and 2 of them have appeared on this promotions video. Gonzalez has been playing with the Red Sox high A affiliate so far this year, where he struggled a bit ERA wise in 15 starts. He has a 5.14, but his FIP is much lower at 3.55. So that means his ERA is a little bit inflated and he's pitching a little bit better than what his ERA says overall. And his strikeouts so far this year have been pretty insane. He has a 15 strikeouts per 9 in 15 starts and has struck out double-digit batters in 3 of his last 15 starts so far this year. That is really, really impressive for a guy who has been struggling a little bit in other areas. The problem right now with Gonzalez is that he's walking a lot of batters. His walks per 9 right now is sitting at 6, which is not great in terms of command. But just because he has a little bit of command issues doesn't mean there's not any potential there. In fact, his fastball sits around 97 miles an hour. It's by far and away his best pitch, and with a little command, it could be a pretty deadly weapon. It has a lot of movements in later halves of the zone. He uses a 2-seam fastball that is much slower than his 4-seam fastball that can get hitters pretty off balance. Again, it all comes down to his command, but that raw talent in those 2 fastballs is really, really impressive. He's got a changeup that Sox prospects describes as almost splitter-like. It's a pitch that gets a ton and swings and misses on. Again, command issues there. And finally, a curveball that has a lot of long dropping movement, about 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock on that curveball, but he can tighten it up when he wants to and does have a bit of command over this one. He can use it east to west pretty well, but again, overall, the biggest concern with Gonzalez so far has been his inability to command his pitches effectively. However, he's still been a really effective pitcher at the high A level, and it was enough for the Boston Red Sox to promote him to Double A. Gonzalez's timeline is mid-2025, and I think this move perfectly correlates with that timeline, right? I think now that he's in Double A, he has the ability to fix that command issue, and if he can fix that command issue, he could be that sort of middle-of-the-line starter that the Red Sox kind of need in terms of consistency by mid-2025. So to me, this promotion is perfectly in line with his timeline. It doesn't make it any shorter, it doesn't make it any longer, which is absolutely perfect for Gonzalez. Now, this also means that Portland also now has the number 1, the number 5, the number 9, the number 15, the number 21, and the number 25 prospects in this Red Sox system on one team. Like I said, this Portland Sea Dogs team is absolutely stacked with potential impact players for the Boston Red Sox. What this means on the grander scheme of things is this is really great for the Red Sox. It means that they are getting closer and closer to connecting their pipeline with their major league club. What I mean by this, we kind of don't right now have a nice even flow of prospects coming up, prospects failing at the major league level, or prospects getting traded at the major league level, or prospects sticking at the major league level, right? Because that's how successful teams work. They have a lot of consistent prospects coming up to the major league level, and you kind of figure out which ones can stick and which ones can't. With all of these promotions, not only is it one, nice to get some new prospects in the draft, but it's also nice to push these guys, push these possible contributors to future World Series championships up and closer to your major league club, and that's exactly what we're seeing over this last week. Overall, in terms of the promotions and how they affect these players, it's absolutely fantastic, right? I think a couple of these were pretty overdue. I think Perales was a bit overdue, and I think Blaze Jordan's was way overdue, so I'm happy for those guys that they finally get their promotions and they can start improving in areas that they need to improve on and give themselves the opportunity to get one step closer to the major league level. But all in all, I think all of these were great moves, and again, it brings the Red Sox one step closer to connecting their pipeline to their major league club. But that's just my opinion, so let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of the latest Red Sox minor league promotions? Who do you like out of this list? Who do you not like out of this list? How do you think these guys are going to do at the next level? And what do you think a super early prediction as to what these guys' impact is going to be at the major league level? Let me know all your thoughts on the latest Red Sox promotions in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.